everybody get your libations. We're not going to be in here long because before I forget, I will be in here tomorrow night doing election night politics. So we're not going to stay in here a long time. And guess what? For those of you who have been complaining that the show is too late, we're going to go back to earlier time. So I will announce that next week. And my head is what happens when you try to cut your own hair. So just keep that in mind. And listen, let's just not judge each other so harshly. Anyway, fam. Anyway, who is snitching in the chat? What's going on? Something happened? Something I don't know about? Anyway, fam. Listen, fam. Tomorrow's a big day. It's election day. I hope you all have voted. I put in my down ballot vote. So we got to talk about what that means. But while you're in there, fam, please hit that like button for me. I would appreciate it. Please hit that like button for me. It is absolutely wonderful to hit that, and it's absolutely free to do that. I would appreciate it. Also, please hit that subscribe button if you have not done it. Please hit that bell to get notifications if you have not done that as well. Those things are free. If you want to donate, it's patreon.com/ycarnell, donate brown or donatebrown.com or $breakingbrown. So any of those things. But listen, it's free to like. It's free to subscribe. It's free to hit that bell. Free things are happening. So please, I understand what it is. And I understand that this is in the midst of a pandemic. So I understand everything that means. And listen, let me give you all a piece of advice. I'm wearing a shirt. Don't buy these shirts from the outlets a lot of the times because they have big sleeves and the stuff is uneven sometimes. Shirt is giving me mad things. I understand we don't have a lot of coins, but the sleeves ain't right. Anyway, but that is neither here nor there, fam. Please also do not forget that, let me bring it up. On December the 10th, The Half Has Never Been Told is the story that it's a long book. I haven't read it. I think I'm going to have to start reading this one earlier because it's so thick. Normally, I start reading books the week before the book club show, so it'll be fresh in my mind. So I usually take about a week to read the books. This one might take longer because it's a thick book. I know some of you all have complained about it. I understand it is a thick book. It is what it is. But please get that. December the 10th will be the day that we will be having that conversation. So please make sure you pick up the book because it's a thickums. It's a thickums, and not in the way you mean, but it's a thick book. So anyway, fam, we have to have a little bit of a conversation because tomorrow is going to be so hyped up. It's going to be so much stuff. And we're going to go over just a few polls so we know what we're looking at. I am excited. Are you excited? I am so excited. Oh, I haven't been this excited in a long time. You all remember I was on live. It's a tradition now. I was on live when Trump beat Hillary. That I was on live and I thought it was going to go the other way. And then Ironman came in and said, he came in, he was in there. Remember, it was me and Ironman back then. And he came in and he said, no, Yvette. If you all remember that show, he said, no. It's going to go the other way. And listen, we have to give Ironman credit because he predicted that Trump was going to win. Right? And so I need to find out what his prediction is this time around. But, so it's becoming sort of a tradition. I like traditions. I think they're saying Biden is going to win it. They're saying he's too far ahead. So we don't know. So it looks like they're saying no. So tomorrow we're going to find out. We're going to find out who were those early voters. Who was in those lines? Did white people tell the truth about who they were voting for when they were polled? Or did they just vote with their money, but they didn't want to tell you who they was voting for and how they voted? We're going to find out. We're going to find out all of our... Oh, I'm so excited. I could just jump. Because we have already made as ADOS, we've already said what we going to do and what we ain't going to do. And we mean it. And we're going to take calls tomorrow too. So, we'll be, as we talk about the results come in, we'll be taking calls and you all will be having your chance to say or what you feel about everything. It's going to be wonderful. Oh, politics is wonderful. So let me just say one thing. Before we get into the whole thing, I want to get into the part of a thing. So I saw this and I put this in the newsletter if you got the newsletter. If you haven't, go to subscribetobrown.com, because I've been sending it out, not just through the newsletter, the $2, but I've been sending, if you want to pay the $2 for the newsletter, it's in my description, but I've been sending it out for free during COVID, because I just think people need information during COVID, and that's not a time necessarily for monetization. So that's what I've been doing. So go to subscribetobrown.com to get that free for you. I brought this up because Keith Boykin, if you want to know exactly what it's about, right? If you want to understand what it's about, let me go to the bottom right here. So Obama had some things to say. He's been stumping for Biden and Kamala, right? He was talking. And so like this was a good summation of what he said, right? And I thought it was important in terms of the conversation that we are having and the movement that we are moving towards, right? So he said, this is President Obama. President Obama, a president alone, can't eliminate racial bias in our criminal justice system. Electing me didn't make us post-racial. But if we want things to be better, we need to elect district attorneys and states attorneys and other focus on equality and justice. That was Obama talking about down ballot. Sounds like what he said to me. Now, at another stop, he said, well, you should vote up and down the ticket. But you just made the case for down ballot for us. And we've always said that you have to like start locally and build. We have said that, and that is the certifiable truth. We said that. So Obama, you were saying what I say. What we're saying, I don't think we understand how much Obama is diminishing himself and saying that, well, you can't stop everything with a president, but you got to do down ballot. That's what we're doing. Now, we know you don't like it because you went somewhere else and said, well, you got to vote up and down the ticket. Yeah, but you seem to kind of diminish your importance at first. And we have to have an honest conversation, Mr. Obama, about how you impacted the down ballot ticket when you did it last time, right? When you were president, elected and reelected. Barack Obama won the White House, but Democrats lost the country. So what happened? The Big Tent philosophy really don't work, especially it don't work for us. But the Big Tent philosophy brought challenges for Democrats ideologically and electorally. We have to unite the undocumented abuela with the tree hugger from Oregon, with the criminal justice advocate from Detroit, with the anti-Wall Street small farmer from Iowa, with the trans woman from Florida, said Heather McGhee, president of the progressive think tank Demos. Creating forceful, coherent, progressive vision is in an age of racial, economic, and political inequality is challenging, is more challenging than the conservative project of small government, lower taxes. Well, what she found out is actually that's not the conservative project. The conservative project is small government, lower taxes, immigration, abortion, it's all sorts of things. So it's just as complicated. So the question becomes, why have conservatives have been able to convince people of stuff that's not even true. Conservatives have been able to convince everybody, or a lot of their base, that Kamala is a part of the radical left. Conservatives have been able to convince people that science is not a thing, that science is an opinion. Conservatives have been able to convince people of a lot of stuff on their side. The question becomes, for Democrats, why haven't you been able to convince people? Why haven't you had the level of success in convincing the Democratic base about what is right? Because you have the opportunity to be on the right side of a lot of stuff. Why haven't you been able to do that? But they have. That's a question that you should ask yourself. So let's just look at when we talk about what Obama did. Let's just have a gander, if you will. Remember, we were reading this article. Barack Obama won the White House, but lost the country. So we're talking about what happened to the local. Remember, we're talking about the local. What happened to the local? What happened to the local when Obama was in there? How did Obama impact the local in terms of, you all know he didn't turn over, he didn't use his database that he had for organizing for nobody but himself. Selfishness was a part of this, Mr. Obama. But let's go to this chart and look at what Democrats. This was in what year was this? This was in 2017. This was one of these little, what do they call them? Little synopsises, or let's do an autopsy of the election and all that kind of stuff. So the difference in the share of self-identified Democrats and Republicans by age group, right? So you see overall, look at that little dotted chart, adults to 29. Democrats are becoming younger. So that's the first thing. Democrats are becoming younger. Right? The second thing is this. They're also becoming more liberal. So Democrats are becoming younger and more liberal. The question becomes, what does the leadership of the Democratic Party do with the younger, more liberal populace? Do they pour that into reparations and the reparations movement? Do they pour that into justice? Do they pour that into what we needed to pour it into? Do they try to influence people in terms of values? What do you do with these? What do you do with this group? Right? What do you do? Let's just bring up one more chart, a couple more really quickly. Because it goes to, now every president usually loses power, right? When two-term, whatever, they usually lose power. So this is nothing new, but we should discuss something since Obama wants to talk. See, since Obama loves to talk about, well, you state and local. We don't talk about how much of that is connected to the national. So it's not good just to elect Obama or just to elect Biden if they're going to let you walk the plank. It's not good if they're not going to promote the values that we stand for. It's not good if they're not going to promote a transformative black agenda and reparations as the heartbeat. It's not good for that. Because you have to be willing not only to be a weather vane and just, well, I listen to my electorate. I listen to my people. No, that listening to your people and just listening to them is not good enough. You have to be willing to influence the electorate. That's what the conservatives and Republicans have done. They are influencing the electorate, even on stuff that don't make no sense. They got people out here during the pandemic ain't wearing no mask because they're effective at influencing people. Oh, that's just propaganda. That's not right. I'm not saying that's right. That's not right. But it is what it is. You have been ineffective. You can't even get your party to pay a debt. Reparations is a debt. That's what it is. You can't even get your people to pay a debt. How do you say then, listen, I'm not going to get these people to pay. I'm not going to get these people to do nothing. The debt is owed. I'm not going to push for that. I'm just going to do polls and try to find my way through. Mr. Magoo, I'm not going to figure out like, okay, these are the values that you stand for. You just try to throw everybody who don't even match under a tit. You won't say, listen, these are our values, right? And this is what we stand for. And that is what it is. You can love it or you can hate it. These are our values. You won't say that. And so when you won't say that or you won't do that, at least Republicans will lie and say, these are my values when they're not. You won't even do that. Somehow, though, you want our vote. Now, let's just see something else really quickly. We talk about Obama and state houses. Since Obama is so invested in, yes, we should do down ballot. And we should do, he said we should vote up and down the ticket. But since he's so invested, let's just look at what happened during your tenure, Obama. You know, share of state legislatures and governorship controlled by Democrats. It crashed. Now, let's look at the bottom of the chart so you can see the years. Right? It goes all the way up to, I think it's like 2016. Right? That's not good enough. I don't know how we begin to think that it is good enough, but it's not good enough. Obama doesn't even understand the country that he lives in. And every person, every president is going to struggle because you become the opposition and people use you. But yours is a bit higher than other people. and the Democrats are struggling, and you didn't use your coattails, that's always going to be a problem. Obama came in as this post-racial guy. After Obama, what we saw during Obama, killings, Trayvon Martin and others, we saw that all that happened. And so much of what is happening, even in terms of the angst of white America, we know they got a whole group of racists in there. But even in terms of that, what also happened was that you got a group of people in here who nothing happened for. See, you allowed, Obama, I'm talking to you, you allowed a certain thing to happen that shouldn't have happened. You allowed it. Got Uber, no labor law, you got all this stuff going on, you got a beer summit, and so nothing really got better for nobody for the most part. Black wealth got eviscerated during the Obama era. I can draw a line between the Obama administration and Trump getting elected. Now, you don't get to come in here now after the fact and say, well, you got to vote down ballot. Yes, but you lost down ballot when you were there. When you were there, you lost down ballot. You don't understand America. Well, there's just one America. No, there's not, Obama. There's a lot of Americas. And you got to speak to the values of all those Americas. You can't get in there and be a weather vane, which is what you did. So when you tell me, Obama, well, you know, you just gotta, what else did he say? He said something else. Let me think I bring it up. Okay. He was talking to LeBron. Because the first thing I said was you have to take into context, Obama, you lost all these state houses. Like you, and I'm not saying it doesn't necessarily happen, it happens. But you lost more than usual. And then you're telling LeBron, let me bring this up, about how to not let frustration turn into cynicism. That's what you're telling LeBron. That's what you're telling ADOS America. How not to let frustration turn into cynicism. Listen, Obama, I know this is not a part of your experience. I understand. But we have never done that. How are you not able to ever come to the table and treat us as like actual humans with brains? What is your problem? Your problem is a different problem than Biden's problem. Because we have always, as ADOS, we have always stood up for what we believe in. We have always fought for our rights. Read history, Obama. You don't know anything. We have always fought for the rights that we have today. Even though the rights that we have today are not enough. We have always fought for them. We've always fought for them. So who are you to come in there saying, well, you can't be cynical? No other group, Obama, has been where we are. Everybody else got in here and got made white. You get made white. Italian, Irish, you get made white. You get made white. Asians, you get made white. We get stuck on the bottom. You don't get to tell us what to do while you're out here flying around with the head of Virgin Airlines. We have always fought. You know who didn't fight for anything? You know who didn't fight for anything? Obama didn't. Listen, if when you get in the ring, you can't punch. If when you get in the ring, you can't do an elbow. If when you get in the ring, you can't do a knee. If you can't protect your face, you don't get to tell me then how to fight. You never fought for anything, Obama, except for your own careerist ambitions. That's the only thing that you ever fought for. So somebody who only ever fought for themselves cannot then turn around and tell me how to fight for everybody. You are not ready. You are not a part of this. You're not it. And anybody who doesn't understand that doesn't understand who we are and where we go from here. You just don't. Obama isn't it. He never gonna be it. You don't get to tell me, oh well, see, y'all just don't, we just can't be cynical. Listen, please understand one thing for me. ADOS and Black America, because nobody disaggregated those numbers, right? So we turned, please hear me when I say this. We turned red states blue for Obama. 2008. Turned red states blue for Obama. That's not cynicism, that's work. That's not cynicism, that's us coming out to vote. And what did we get? Yeah, we got some accommodation and stuff. Yeah, we got a little, we're going to do a little bit of, that's not transformational politics. That's why I always say what we're talking about is transformative politics, to transform our lives. It's not something to just make us a little bit better. Well, today you can afford a $10 meal or whatever. No, that's not where we are. And that's why I brought up what I brought up about Obama losing state houses, because he talks about, well, you just have to vote down ballot and stuff too. Yeah, but a lot of that flows down. A lot of when you talk about voting for state houses and state senate, a lot of that flows down from the top. And Obama and Biden ain't gonna do no better, except in his ability to bring racists on board, than Obama did. Right? You're not going to have it. You're not going to have it. And so you look at this, and this article tried to make the case for Obama. I always know when an article is trying to like make the case. So they say a party tends to lose power when it holds the White House. This article is talking about Obama. But look at like Obama on the top, 2017, minus state senate, minus 33. State houses, minus 32. That's a lot, even when you go down to Bush, Clinton, Reagan, and so on and so forth. The only one that comes kind of close is like Eisenhower at the bottom. Like we really don't realize how detrimental Obama was to our politics. And so you can't tell us, yes, those of us who are talking now, we voted down ballot, because we have to be careful about who we put at the top of the ticket. We know the top of the ticket matters, even though Obama diminished himself. And he kind of said that he kind of, in a way, kind of co-signed us, right? He kind of co-signed what we were saying. The top of the ticket matters, and that's why we can't have Biden there. And that's why we're not voting for him to be there. I voted them down. I voted them down ballot because I can't have him there. I know what that means. There are two people at the top of this ticket I don't want. I don't want Trump. I don't want Biden. I don't want neither one of them. Trump got people running around without masks. Biden had the crime bill and all this other stuff. I'm not interested. And I have a right to say I'm not interested in either one of you. You have a right to say that. If we free people, let's be free. Let's just not be free to vote for Dems. Right? We can vote for them down ballot all day long. There's some people here that I voted for. Yeah. Right. I think that's a good person. They got good politics. No, but I don't get to follow you. I don't got to follow you, especially since we know that a lot of the stuff that happened, the Democratic Party's down ballot collapse, we pushing up down ballot. Here in Adolph, we pushing up down ballot. You collapsed it. Huh? Let's have a conversation about what you did, Obama, because you let everybody else walk the plank, because you let conservatives get a hold of. I remember that. How many of y'all remember this? Obama let conservatives collapse the narrative. They convinced everybody that Obamacare, which wasn't enough and wasn't good enough and is too expensive, it's got a lot of problems. Probably because you got it from Mitt Romney, the Republican, because that's who you are at your core. You're center-right Republican. But the problem is, the real problem is that if you want to talk about this, Obama, you want to talk about down ballot, we're doing down ballot. So thank you for agreeing with us. Even though you should vote up and down the ticket, but you admitted in another conversation, yeah, down ballot is what really gets it, because one president ain't gonna change nothing. You diminished yourself and kind of upped our position. That's interesting. But I remember, like I was saying just a second ago, I remember you allowing Democrats to walk the plank. I remember that. because you let conservatives get a hold of the narrative of Obamacare. And they call it socialized medicine. And you couldn't get, this great communicator couldn't get out in front of the idea that Obamacare was socialized medicine. You failed. You were a failure. And part of your failure is now you got a whole bunch of white people, not just the racists. We know the racists in their SUVs running by and off the road. We ain't talking about just them. You got a whole lot of white people who are disappointed in you. That's why you stumped for Hillary didn't work. No. We don't want to see you. Your administration was a failure, even in terms of down ballot. Even more than other, we know that presidents normally, like two-term presidents or whatever, have a problem because they become the opposition. And the other people, the other party says, hey, they're the opposition, and they do all kind of ads and things against it. We know how that works. We know how that works. But yours was worse than normal, Obama. Let me just read something real quick. Because they tried to give you a pass, but we're going to come back to it. But it's hard to blame Obama for Democrats' down ballot decline. Let's read the pass. I always like to read when people give Obama a pass because I know what happened. I was there. It's correct to blame him and his team more broadly for complacency. Democrats were taking on water for the bulk of his presidency, and rather than act like a crew staving off emergency with an all-hands-on-deck spirit, Obama world largely acted like victorious conquerors and took the opportunity to cash in on the private sector. Ain't that something? That's what we got. The Democratic Party got crushed during the Obama presidency. Here's why. Let's talk about down ballot, Obama. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. If you feel froggy, let's jump. If you want to talk about down ballot, who you got to vote for, let's talk about how you left everybody. And you did worse than even your predecessors. You didn't help the down ballot except for like when you got elected. After that, it was a wrap. Because Democrats don't stand for nothing no more. They don't stand on nothing no more. We came out to vote for pictures of Obama and his family. That's not policy. That's not politics. And Democrats were not standing on that. They were standing on the idea that we were going to like a photo album picture of Obama. That's not good enough. And we have to make that clear. That's what down ballot is about this year. To make it clear to everybody, that's not good enough. You standing on, oh my God, the desperation of a bottom class group is not good enough. And I know you've heard us, Obama. That's why you say, oh no, you gotta vote up and down the ticket. Yeah, because you heard us talking. Right? You heard us talking. Read this. Part of Obama's legacy is the health of his party. He's had many successes in office: healthcare reform, climate change, regulations, Wall Street reform. But his legacy also includes one failure: a diminished Democratic Party. Say it ain't so. Every president sees his party lose hundreds of positions. It's the price a party holding the White House pays. But no president has come close to Obama. During Obama's 8 years in office, the Democrats have lost more House seats, Senate, state, legislative, and governor seats than any other president. This man tore up down ballot and wants to tell you about down ballot. He destroyed down ballot for his own party because he's selfish. I don't know if you all remember. But Obama was only used his coattails for him. He was very unwilling during his first term to go out and use his political capital for anybody except him. So if you want to talk about down ballot, Obama, you need to talk about why you lost so many and helped lose so many seats, right? Nobody came close to you. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. And somebody said, thanks to the Tea Party. No, the Tea Party got funded. and their people and the Republicans supported them, even though they didn't disagree with them. Them establishment Republicans never agreed with the Tea Party. Never did. But they knew I got to fold this up in here some kind of way because these people is wild. Obama just let his people walk the plank. He didn't say, well, I got to support these people because they supported me and they were out here. No, he just let his people walk the plank. He mismanaged Obamacare. All of a sudden, Obamacare became socialized medicine. People got scared. They heard about death panels. Y'all remember that? Death panels. Oh, my Lord, it's a death panel. You let them get control of the whole narrative. So don't talk to me about down ballot. Yes, I agree that it's important, but you have to own your role in terms of what you did and what you didn't do. And you have to own the connection. See, what we have to understand is there's a connection between the presidency and the down ballot. It can have coattails or it can't. Obama had coattails first and he didn't. Then he didn't want to use his shine for the people. What we're saying is this. We voted down ballot, and we are protecting the down ballot by saying, hey, we're not co-signing Biden in there. Because we know what that looks like. How many of y'all think Biden got coattails? Who you think he going to bring in? Biden is there to bring in the white folk who are kind of sort of racist. Because he can win against Trump, who we all know what that is. That's why you're there. I don't need a president or a presidential candidate who is there because they appeal to the kind of white, I might be racist vote. I need a candidate who understands that debts are debts and debts have to be paid. Who understands that I have to lead the way in terms of the values of this party. Who understands that, listen, this group, ADOS, have always been the thing that buttressed the Democratic Party. Now, we're not white women, we're not white men, we're the minority. But we vote for Democrats overwhelmingly. I need somebody who understands, like, listen, I got to pay them back. They always show up for me. That's what we need. No, somebody said in the chat, still playing Southern strategy. Yeah, I don't need no Southern strategy. They are. You right. You skippy with it. But we don't need that no more. Let me see if I can find one other thing as we go forward. Southern strategy. So we got to look at, let me see. Hold on, because the thing that was right about this, there was one thing that was really right. And I can't seem to find it. It's always that. Oh, I think I found it. People don't understand. We need what we need. Down ballot is important. That's why we're doing it. Hey, Obama, that's why we're doing it. The truth of the matter is the truth. Here was the truth. You know who told us the truth way back then in 2016 and helped forecast this? Right? Nina Turner said it. Hold on, let me bring this up so you can see. But the party's hand-wringing over its loss of working-class whites has brought pushback as well. Many in the party, particularly people of color, I hate that term, resent that white votes who have abandoned the party are eliciting an energetic outreach campaign, while the concerns of reliable Democratic voters in the minority communities are ignored. African Americans, no matter what, will vote hook or crook for Democrats. And so that particular demographic is owed a lot more by the Democratic Party than we have gotten, said former Ohio State Senator and Sanders surrogate Nina Turner. And what I mean by that is no African American woman has ever been governor in this country. Democrats need to be making that happen. See, let me tell you something. People say, well, Yvette, why not the Republican? Listen, what I'm telling you is that we have, in large part, in terms of our loyalty, built the Dems. and they don't give us anything in return. Then they want to say, well, how come you're not voting? How come you're not voting for Biden? What you mean? What you mean? You okay? You sick? You all right? You got a whole day one plan. And Obama, you can't tell us about, well, you got to vote, you know, down ballot matters. Yeah, it matters. And part of your policies ruined down ballot last time. So let us come out for down ballot this time and not come up for the top. Oh, well, you got to vote down, up and down the ticket. I'm not listening to you. You're not telling me nothing. Because we know how many white millionaires you created and what you did. So you don't get to tell us nothing either. But we agree. We agree that down ballot matters. We agree with that. That's why we're doing it. And we agree with Obama that the presidency, the presidency matters too, right? But that's why you can't vote for who's at the top of the ticket. When the people at the top of the ticket don't have your interest at heart. Biden has a whole track record that goes against our interests. I don't need that. That's why Obama got you. Obama got you as cover. I'm black. I need people to not be upset, and not think that I'm gonna do something. So I'm gonna go get this man who's been kind of Ku Kluxish, right, and put him on here, and he's a Democrat still, and it's gonna be all right. We're not doing that no more. We're vested in ourselves. We're vested in our own interests. We're not doing that anymore. And I know that makes a lot of these people scared and afraid and upset and everything else. But that just is what it is. We agree with down ballot Obama, you right. We're going to do that part. We're not going to do your part, though, because the top of the ticket matters. And the top of the ticket this year is awful. So we've gone in a different direction. Thank you. Thank you. We're off to the races. Off to the races, everyone. Off to the races we go. So let's talk about a little bit before we, tomorrow's show will be tomorrow's show. But let's talk about a little bit about what it's looking like on the forefront of this magnanimous election. So we have seen, Michigan, Pennsylvania, there were some polls out. Let's just put them out there so we know how we're anchored for tomorrow. What it's going to look like. Ooh, it's going to be a mess, I bet you. But let me just say this. So let's just go through a couple of them. Let's see what it looks like. We're going to go real fast because, like I said, we're going to get us out of here today because we're going to be here tomorrow. We might be here tomorrow for a long time. So no Republican nominee has carried the prairie state since George H.W. Bush in 1988. So that's not looking good. Michigan is going to be very, 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 very interesting. But they say Biden is running the board on everything. Trump ended a streak of 6 consecutive presidential elections where the Great Lakes state won by Democrats defeating Hillary Clinton 10,704 in 2016. Ooh, that was close. Yeah. So that's going to be something to watch. Watch Michigan tomorrow, and we're going to watch Pennsylvania. Right? We're going to watch them two tomorrow. That's what we're going to watch. Now, let's just put this up real quick. Minnesota, the last Republican nominee to carry the North Star state was Richard Nixon. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. That looks like that might be a problem. Okay, let's go on. We are running. The Buckeye State has given its electoral votes to the winner of every presidential election held in the United States since 1964. In 2016, Trump defeated Clinton by 8 points. Biden and Trump are tied. Ooh-wee, tied among decided voters in Ohio, 49-49. There is a higher level of undecided voters amongst women than men. That's gonna be tight. We gotta watch Ohio tomorrow. We gotta watch it. Remember I said we gotta watch Pennsylvania. Let's come in. We got another one. Okay. In 2016, Trump became the first Republican nominee to win the Keystone State since George H.W. Bush in 1988, defeating Clinton. We don't need that history. You can read that history. Biden holds a 6-point edge over Trump in Pennsylvania. More than half of men and decided voters aged 35 to 54 intend to support the Republican nominee or have already cast a ballot. Let's just keep it moving. This will be interesting, but it's always just like there's a wide lead already, but I don't trust these polls no more. In 2016, Trump became the first Republican nominee to win the Badger State. Oh, these names of these states are raggedy. Anyway, since Ronald Reagan in 1984 defeating Clinton by 22,748 votes, 47 to 46. Biden is ahead of Trump by 9 points in Wisconsin, 54-45. That's a long lead if it's true. Support for the Democratic nominee is strongest amongst women, 58%, and amongst age 18 to 34. Now, a few charts just so we can see a few things. This is from Emerson College. General election. They got Trump 40-9, I think. Biden 52. Let's keep this in mind for tomorrow. Let's keep this in mind. I think, listen, Vicky Pendergrass said everybody's lying in them polls. I believe that too. I believe a lot of people just are voting for Trump and don't want to say so. But I ain't going to say nothing till tomorrow. I think a lot of people are saying that they finna vote their pocketbook or vote their true values and they don't want to say nothing. I believe it. I'm with it. So anyway, 2020 general election, that's what it is. Let's go to the next one. Let me see. I had another one here. Oh, let's go to 538 real quick. Let's go. YouGov. Let's look at the polls. Biden at 53. Trump at 43. That's YouGov. Research code. We just looked at that 50 to 42. I just wonder. You know, these people lie. These people lie so much. Ipsos 52 to 45. Let's go all the way down to the Zogby poll, 52 to 45. Ooh-wee. Let's go to the next one. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. We're going to see tomorrow. Oh, I'm so excited. I bet you it's not over tomorrow, but I hope it is. I will be so excited. Redfield and Wilton. Let's see. We go down. It's still. They just still showing me. Now this, you know, Rasmussen skews right wing. It would be interesting. I didn't get a chance to do it today, but it would be interesting to see what their poll was last time and how they predicted whether they were right or wrong. They have a very tight race. Quinnipiac. Woo, Quinnipiac got Biden at 50 and Trump at 39. Now that is foreboding. See, everybody has Biden on top. And they're saying it's not going to be like last year. They're saying it's not going to be a Hillary Clinton thing. They're saying it's not going to be that. They're saying it's going to be something different. Family, I am excited. I cannot hide my excitement for tomorrow. Now, it might not be over tomorrow because of, you know, for all the reasons that we have mentioned. But I am excited. I cannot contain myself. Let me show you some more. Survey USA, AYTM. Everybody has Biden on top. Biden, right? Looking at all these different polls. That's what they got. Let's go to the next one. We're going to come out of here in 1 second. Right? Look at the NBC Wall Street, the Wall Street Journal poll. 52 Biden to 42 Trump. They telling Trump it's over. We're going to see, though. I don't trust y'all either. As ADOS, we don't trust none of y'all. That's just what it is. Gravis Marketing, Fox News. Even Fox News got Biden up 51-44. Ooh. My goodness. This is something else. I'm going to stop after this in 1 second, fam. So it's like, what is this? Because I'm just trying to get everybody ready for tomorrow. Right? I'm just trying to get everybody ready. It just is what it is. I don't want no. Now, see, let me say something. So, you know, we always say that, like, well, Hillary didn't do as good either. Right? Hillary didn't do as good. Hillary was showing that she was in the lead too. And so that didn't happen. Oh, but let me tell you, the little posters, the little Chads and, you know, Bertrands are coming around and they're telling us, or whoever this person is, they're telling us, little Nate Corns always talk. So they're telling us that, like, this isn't that year. They're saying that this will have to be way more wrong than Hillary. So what are they saying? Before we finish this out. They're saying that, nah, Hillary was in a margin of error that Biden isn't in. So let's look at this before we go to tomorrow. Let's look at this polling leader, U.S., and they go to different states. If polls are as wrong as they were in 2016 to 2012, and what they're telling you, and if you look at most of these polls, they're telling you, listen, Biden will still win because the margin of error was different with Hillary. So they're saying, yeah, the polls were wrong with Hillary last time, but this ain't last time. It's not the same thing. And the polls will have to be really, really off for Trump to pull this off. That's what they're saying. So they said either way, if the polls were as off as they were the last time, that Biden would still win. Well, I tell you what, we're going to find out on tomorrow. And let me go to this one thing last time. The national polls show a decisive Biden win. 4 years ago, the national polls showed Mrs. Clinton with a lead of around 4 percentage points, quite close to her eventual 2.1 percentage in the national vote, because Hillary Clinton won the national vote. This year, the national polls show Mr. Biden up by 8.5 percentage points, according to our average. The higher quality national surveys generally show him ahead by even more. They're saying this ain't no Hillary Clinton. That's what they're saying. Well, family, I tell you what, we're going to find out tomorrow. Ain't we going to find out what it is or it ain't? We're going to be in here. I should be in here at around 9 or 9:30, around the time when election results start coming in, and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have calls, because we're going to find out. This is just a show to look at the polls and figure out what they're saying. So tomorrow we know if they lied or not. You know, you have to have some type of basis to figure out, is you lying? Did you lie to me yesterday or today? I think you lying. I think you's a liar. So we have to do that, fam. We absolutely have to do that. But tomorrow is going to be a phenomenal day for politics. And we have to talk about where we go from here. Listen, as ADOS, part of the problem, part of the thing, it's not really a problem because we're doing it now. But part of what's happening with us as a group now as we move forward, right, is part of the reason we're doing the 501c4 and everything that we're doing right now. And we'll probably have a C3 somewhere else that just does education. We're doing that for a specific reason, because regardless of who gets elected president, we have to move. We have to grow as a group. We have to mobilize as a group. You know, we have to get people in every state on board with our agenda in terms of our mobilization. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen regardless of who wins. We mobilize differently depending on who wins, but we have to grow. And we have to have people on the ground, and we have to do it with specificity as part of this effort that we're doing. So that has to happen. Our mobilization has to happen, regardless of if Trump wins or Biden wins. Because what's going to happen with Biden, this is my prediction, if Biden wins, people are going to be disappointed. Because the whole agenda for Biden was, you not Trump. So what happens, you can get in there, you're not going to have no agenda, and ADOS and Black America in general are going to be very disappointed. That's going to be our opportunity to swoop in and get those people for us and say, you know what? I know why you're disappointed. You come with us. We are the answer to your disappointment. You come with this movement. And in the next 4 years, I don't care who gets elected, we have movement work to do. Because people don't understand it now. And that's fine. I don't expect anybody to understand it now. But this is, ADOS is the continuation of the civil rights movement. People will understand it eventually, and they're going to wonder, I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. This group is a continuation. And we're going to post it up. We're going to have a 100-day plan, right? For mobilization, for education, for all of that. And that's going to be part of what ADOS HQ does, is to have this 100-day plan for what we have to do in every state. So this 100-day plan has to go into effect in every state in terms of how we mobilize. And we won't really understand in terms of how we mobilize until we understand who is going to be president, right? But we're starting that now. We have to recruit in every arena. I'm talking about churches, mosques. We have to recruit the youth. We have to recruit in universities. We're talking university chapters. All of that has to happen around ADOS and a transformative Black agenda. So I'm very excited about the next year coming forward. I'm extremely excited about it. I'm extremely excited about the plans that we're building. I'm extremely excited about the boots on the ground that have been brought into this and who have been so instrumental, even though they have not been acclaimed. They ain't got no credit. All that's going to end too. Let me just tell you something. 2020 is going to be a new year. We're going to be the household name. If we do this right, we're the household name of black politics. If we do this right, for the next 100 years, everybody will be able to say ADOS built this house of black politics, and with centered an ADOS agenda with black politics as the heartbeat of it. That's what this next year is about. Cementing us as the movers and shakers in black politics, regardless of who takes the White House. And that's what we're building. These are the conversations that I am having, right? With everybody. All these people who are talking about they want to do new chapters. All the people. Shout out to all my family who've already done chapters, who have been leading and getting no praise and approval. All that's gonna stop. We're gonna elevate those people too, because we love them and we're moving. So listen, regardless, it's gonna be an exciting year. Regardless of how you see it, it's gonna be a very exciting year. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to implement the plans that I see, right, coming together. I love it when a plan comes together. So anyway, fam, let me not get too excited. Let me just go to the phones, because I get too excited and I just mess stuff up. I just be spilling the beans. I don't want to spill the beans. So give me 3 minutes or so to set up the phones. We'll be back and we'll have the conversation. Thanks, fam. We are back. Came back quick because I want to give everybody a time to have a good night's sleep, because tomorrow might be a humdinger, as they say. It might be a humdinger. So I am going to my first call. I am going to 412. 412, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yes, my name is Candace.
Hey, Candace.
Online, they call me hi. They call me Americandace because I am an American and I'm proud of it. I'm ADOS Pittsburgh in the building.
Oh, all right.
And yes, we are still black and gold here. But I wanted to. We had a good chapter meeting. I believe it was just yesterday.
Okay.
And we're holding each other. We are deemed the lowest economic family or city for black women in the country. We're also labeled the America's most livable city economically. I think that was in 2014. So we're getting updated. But I just wanted to quickly just hold the family, the ADOS family together, spiritually, keeping us all in mind when it comes to survival for the next couple weeks. It is possible that the mirrors will be turned on each other. As often as we see Biden and Trump looking at each other or looking away from each other, the mirrors that they are may be turned on one another. And if we turn on one another, then all powers that have been against us win. So if it seems that Trump has cheated to win, then we as a collective may react. If it seems that Biden has, cheated to win in some way, then the collective will also react. So I would just like to encourage all of our family to remain as just spiritually grounded as possible. I'm doing my best as well, but just so that we can make it through. If we need to go to the grocery store early in the day tomorrow, if you need to run the errands early in the day tomorrow, gather the children early in the day tomorrow, that we may be all on alert and on watch and in preparation for the unknown, because what we do know is that there are extremes on both sides. So we just really want to stay focused that who's to blame is going to be in the air. And I really just want to encourage everyone to ground ourselves and to really start at the root of everything, calling family members and just reassuring ourselves that we and our families remain intact during this hard time. That's all.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate that. And I agree, because we don't know, people have talked about unrest tomorrow. We done seen people. Did y'all see the video of like the Trump people trying to run the Biden people off the road and they had to cancel an event? I think she's right in the sense of we don't know what tomorrow brings, and that's just spiritually anyway. That's biblical. You don't know what tomorrow brings. So be prepared for tomorrow to bring anything. If you don't know what tomorrow brings, be prepared for tomorrow to bring anything. And be ready, because we don't know. And be ready, be ready for people to try to blame us. If Trump if Biden wins, that's one other thing. Right? If Biden wins, that's a whole nother thing that we're just going to have to get involved in terms of our activism. But if Trump wins, like they always, you saw him like last week or the week before last trying to blame black men. If Trump wins, they might come for ADOS, and you have to be prepared for that. We got to be prepared for that pushback. There's a lot of preparation that we have to do, because we don't know where the chips might fall in this whole thing. All right? I'm going to my next call. I'm going to 312. 312, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, good evening, Eva. This is Harold calling out of Chicago.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty
Actually, I didn't want to waste too much time. I had one specific question because I've been following the movement for a while. I am not a member of the chapters, but I'm a supporter of ADOS wholeheartedly.
Okay.
So the question that I had is, my issue has been the xenophobia that I've worried about within ADOS, within some chapters. And some of the individuals that I've been speaking with outside of ADOS, they've had an issue with supporting ADOS specifically because of that. And did I hear you tonight correctly when you mentioned the 2-year plan, this outreach plan? Does it include the outreach to members of the diaspora?
Well, yes, because here's the thing. Reparations is for ADOS, right? That is a debt that's specifically for ADOS. But that is not the only part of our agenda. Reparations is for us and nobody else. But there's a transformative black agenda that includes everybody, right? So I think people have to I think what allies have to understand is like reparations for us, but then like we don't have a movement if it's just reparations. Once we get reparations, we don't want this to end. We have a whole transformative black agenda that is not ADOS specific, but reparations is ADOS specific. But there's a whole other black agenda that is not that.
Yeah, well, I totally agree. Like I said, I was just worried that, certain members would feel left out, and especially if you guys are expanding, because I know that your numbers are growing, and people who are not necessarily American descendants of slaves support you guys from afar, and I'm a part of that community. So,
well, we appreciate you.
There are those of us who are cheering you along the way.
And we appreciate you.
We want to support you. We want to be a part of it.
Exactly, and we appreciate you. And the thing is, we absolutely appreciate you, and you are a part of the black agenda, right? We want to drive this car, but we don't want to drive this car off the road, and we're not trying to leave people who would be included in the black agenda. We're just trying to make sure that everybody understands that reparations is just us. But we want to lead, and we will lead the black political movement in this country. It's just what it is. So we want everybody to understand
absolutely.
that.
And if we do well, guess what? Members of the diaspora will do well automatically.
Well, listen. I have always said that. I have always said that we lead. ADOS leads the black liberation of the world. Like everybody looks to ADOS to say how to do it. How do they do this? We lead, and if we get reparations, do you understand how many other countries around the globe are from different countries? From Belgium, from France. Like this, once this domino falls in America, I don't think people understand how the dominoes begin to fall across the world.
But what's crazy, Yvette, is I actually believe that's also the reason why we may have some challenges in getting it through. Is because of that reason alone. I theorize that
I agree.
If the United States, the most powerful superpower in the world, has to bend, to ADOS, a part of its constituency, then all these other global leaders will have to do the same because they will follow in the footsteps of America. So I agree with you there, 100%.
I agree with, and the thing is, everybody's going to come to ADOS and say, "How did you do it?" Because it elevates us too, and say, "How did you do this?" Then we could go do a tour. Hey, listen, this is how it happened. This is how we did it. Strategize. I don't think the people who are anti-ADOS understand. Like, listen, long term, this benefits you because if America has to bow to ADOS and say we have to give you this, oh my God, that's the first card that falls. Like that's the shot heard around the world, and people really don't understand that.
Yep. 100%. Well, I absolutely agree with you. Again, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I'm sure there are a lot of us who are listening who are from the diaspora that is appreciating what you're saying right now.
No problem.
I'm going to leave you with this.
Sure, go ahead.
Because I've got this crystal ball here. And I've been looking into it the whole time we've been talking, and it just popped up that Biden is definitely going to win.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. We're gonna see. We're gonna learn tomorrow who tell the truth to the polls. That's what we're gonna learn tomorrow. Who tell the truth to the pollsters? You told the pollsters you weren't gonna vote for Biden. Did you go there and protect your monies? You got the monies. Did you go there and protect the monies? Like, because that's what conservatism, like, did you go there because Trump got all these, tax cuts? Did you not vote for Biden and you said you was because you want to protect your monies and your own legacy? We're going to find out. A lot of stuff we're going to find out. It's all right. I'm going now to 404. 404, what is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Sister Cornell, this is Simeon out of Gwinnett County. How are you doing?
What's going on, Simeon? Down there doing all the work. Appreciate you, fam, for calling in.
Hey, I appreciate being here. I've been a long-time listener. This is the first time calling. Me and my wife are sitting down watching you together as we normally do. And one of the things that I've been talking about with this election is the Democrats have spent 4 years trying to say that all they equal is better than Trump. That's all they've said.
That's their
job. Exact same thing Hillary was saying. And I think one of the things that no poll takes into account is how whiteness gravitates towards dominance. And that dominance is a quiet dominance, or either it's a loud dominance. And I believe the conservative form of dominance is loud. The liberal form of dominance is quiet. But I believe white people are addicted to that dominance. And as a result, I think all of the polls are wrong.
Really?
I think Donald Trump winning. White folks have felt that power of being the preference, and they felt that open power, and I don't think they can go back. So I think as an Adolf's family...
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, fam. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but let me say this. I actually think one of the things I have seen on TV has been striking to me. Let me say that. And I'm gonna see if you do. I'm gonna see if you agree. I have seen the energy seems to be on the side of Trump, right? Because I have seen all these white people and people of color. Y'all in there too. Y'all been Trump. Y'all been running around with Trump, and people have talked. When I see people do the man on the street interviews, the way they talk about Trump as if they keep saying this one thing I keep hearing. Trump is our last chance. That's what they keep saying. They almost talk about it like it's biblical, fam.
It is to them because they are guided by the power of white supremacy. And I think that's absolutely the case. As I drive through the county, I see nothing but Trump signs. And if you're into the local politics over here, there's some local politicians that do nothing but parrot Trump. So you might not see a Trump sign, but you'll see those local politician signs. And so when Trump speaks of that silent majority, I believe he's speaking of the majority of white America. And one of the things that you never hear is that Trump is the heartbeat and reflection of what America is and has always been. And so I don't think that you get away from that just from shaming people. You have to go completely on the other side of that, and the Democrats have refused to do it. They've refused to put justice ahead of dominance. And with that continuing, I don't think that that Biden has a chance tomorrow. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think so.
I've seen that too. And I don't think, King I think King called it right in terms of white America prefers, law and order over justice. I have not seen, this anybody but Trump thing. I don't know if that is enough. And you know what Democrats have done? They have tried to make it as if the people coming to the polls, the early vote is a signal that Biden is going to win. I don't know if that's true because Trump told people don't do the mail-in vote to go to the polls because the mail-in vote could be problematic. He told his supporters that. So when I see people at the polls, I don't just assume that they're there for Biden or early voting. I assume that they might be there for Trump.
Oh, totally both. I believe it's also a reaction to COVID. Everyone wanted to avoid the long line of COVID on election day, so a lot of people are moving forward. I don't believe that there's massive Democrat turnout right now. I believe we're actually going to see massive Republican turnout, and those folks are fired up because something is on Trump's agenda for them, and that's white dominance. And the dilemma is nothing is on the agenda for Democrats for black folks, their most loyal people. So I think we're seeing the split in generations with black folks right now. We have a whole new group of black folks who are saying, nah, something ain't right. We got to do something different. And so you're going to have those gatekeepers and some of those boomers continue on this path of destruction and not giving a damn about their progeny. But you have a whole young group of people who are saying, we ain't doing this way. And I'll leave you on this one note here. Okay. It's easy to think that our message is not getting out there. But maybe 2 or 3 months ago, my uncle, he's actually my second cousin. He's my mother's first cousin. He called me from Buena Vista, Georgia. And Buena Vista, Georgia is outside of Columbus. That's where my family is from. Farmers. They were all farmers. The whole road, named Slaughter Road, used to all be my family. My family was enslaved in that same area, ended up owning some land. We saw that land decimated over time through some of the things that we talk about with lending practices, with theft by possession, all of those things. So my Uncle Eddie, and I know Uncle Eddie is listening, so shout out to Uncle Eddie. He called me and said, "You've got to talk to Yvette Carnell." And so the fact that Uncle Eddie in Buena Vista, Georgia, somewhere that barely has DSL, has heard of ADOS because he's a farmer who's steady fighting, trying to get the land back that my grandfather and his father lost.
Absolutely.
All couple hundred acres out there in Buena Vista, Georgia. The fact that he's heard about you tells me that this message is going far and wide. So here in our household, we love you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, fam.
We're going to continue to lift you up and lift up this message. And for all of the ADOS fam out there, y'all keep pushing. They know that we're here. We're at the door, and we got to continue to push through. Have a good night, sister.
You too, fam. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the work that you do too. You know, Simeon, your work doesn't get called out enough, but we all see what you're doing out there in Gwinnett, and we you know, in terms of ADOS and your advocacy, I want to thank you for that. And that is something, the white dominance, fam. Like, they're not talking about it, but they've seen it. That's what he's saying. They felt it. That's like a drug. Like, you know, this. Oh, they get to do it overtly too, not like years ago, right? You get to do, like when they said calm down. No. And the thing is, everybody knows who we are. That's why Obama said down ballot. Then he came and said, no, vote up and down the ticket. You know who we are. That's why he came. That's why Obama said no. Voting is not transactional. All of this stuff is in. He's saying this stuff because of what we've already said. He's saying this stuff to kind of counter what we're saying. But it's only one Obama. It's a whole lot of us. And we at the door. It's time to get inside that door. That's just what it is. So I'm going to my next call. I'm going to 305. 305. What is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
What's going on? It's Will from Miami.
What's going on, Will? How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, I just wanted to, let me go ahead and say it. If Trump wins, I think we should continue what we're doing, go on our agenda. If Biden wins, we do the same. Let me say, a lot of times, at least what I've realized throughout my life, is when groups started out, they wound up different in how they began, and then they watered down. Kind of like what the NAACP was about.
Okay.
I mainly support the movement because of the tone that you and Tony Moore have as you go about this. For me, that matters. Okay. Because a lot of representatives of the community do not have the courage to speak truth to power. And in spite of all the backlash that you all have received, the messaging and the tone is strong. See, the agenda or the objective is one thing. Anyone can scream reparations, and we know many people have said it in the past. But aside from the way in which you all framed it, but the tone, I think, is just like the framing of it, one of the strongest pillars of this entire thing. So please continue to do that. Absolutely. Do not change the tone, because you got to keep putting that dagger in these people's mouths that don't want all of us to move forward with this agenda. Let me go on to the narrative. I want to talk about something that I've noticed that has changed, you bet.
Okay.
I watch a lot of different shows on YouTube, like Karen Hunter's show, and most recently she was on there, and this is a good thing. And I've heard her talk about the numbers. When I say numbers, you know we're referring to data. About why or how Trump was elected or who elected him. And it kind of echoes in many ways what yourself and Tony Moore have always said. It's like, don't put the burden of a Trump presidency or Trump being elected on ADOS. And if it happens this time around, also don't put the burden on us. White suburban women did that. So I bring this up because when it's important for all of us who are supporting this movement to realize when the dial of this political thing begins to turn, because someone's listening to the way in which you all have framed things, the way in which you all strongly, affirmatively support your arguments and vastly by data and history, and they're doing the same thing. So now people are echoing the same things that you all are saying. So what she said on her show was, let me go over the numbers. I don't know numbers so well, but she said X amount of black people, either with or without policy beliefs, voted for so and so. X amount of white people or white women in particular voted for so and so. But the point of that, the takeaway was, that was in response to Blame Black Men hashtag. Now, I've looked across the internet. Nobody was talking about that statistic as the talking point, as a rebuttal point to Blame Black Men, except for Antonio Moore yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the only indicator, but that tells me that the message is coming out, and what's happening is the shifting. There's a shift of who is the source of truth and facts in this whole political thing. So I commend you guys on that. Keep it the same. And I want to end on this last point, and I'm out. A lot of times, I'm from Miami, born and raised. We get the flag. When I say we, I'm talking about ADOS at this point. Thank you so much for coining that phrase. You all did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
We get the flag. What do I mean by that? I've been tired of when people are successful, they're every flag that they're from, the land. But when they get arrested, they're black. When they beat somebody up, they're black. When they do anything that's negative or is criminal or is something that should be shined upon, they're black. But we understood, and we understand now, that all that does is reflect back to people with no flag.
Ooh.
Which we have a flag, but, And so the framing of ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, has set that into place, and I can't wait until the word is out in a major way so that eventually, hopefully, on the census, they disaggregate those things, take us out of all of this blackness so that they can see who's actually doing crimes. Because, I'm from Miami, and in spite of what people see on First 48, I'm going to tell you, it's not the native blacks that's doing these crimes like they're saying it. It's the Amians, it's Jamaicans, it's all these different folks. It's Haitians. But then when they do the crimes, they're not waving their flag. And when folks are incarcerated, they're not asking them what country they're from. So anyways, this is important in so many ways. I'm proud about this. And beware of people who want to champion the ADOS movement or what we're trying to achieve and then insert their own agenda. And that's those religious folks. Hey, not all of them, but I'm talking about those, extreme religious folks.
Yeah,
but,
extreme.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate you. And yeah, we got to watch. We got a lot of people that we got to watch. Got to keep our eye on. You got a lot of people that we got to keep our eye on in terms of what they're doing. And I've always thought, because the cost, when you look at the color of wealth, money, you look at the wealth of different black groups, it's not the same, and we bear the cost. So you have to break all of that down. You have to break it down in every category, because you won't see what we're owed or what we've experienced unless you break it down. That's very important. So I'm going now to 414. 414, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Johnny Barker.
I can hardly hear you, Johnny.
I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
My name is Johnny Barker, and I just want to let you know I am very supportive of your movement, and thank you for all the informative information that you have brought to us. And I would like for us to have our chapter in Minnesota, Minneapolis, to be more visible, because I don't even know if they have one up there, but I'm sure they do. But they need to be more visible, and we need to mobilize. And I support everything you do, and thank you.
Appreciate it, fam. Thank you. And the thing is, we're going
bye
family. We're going to as we become official, we're going to organize more, because there's a lot of work that we have to be done, and we have to kind of we're going to do all of that, because this is going to be a new, regardless of whether we're talking Biden or Trump's re-election, there's a lot to do. And it's going to be time to do it, and we're going to have a first 100 days movement too. There's a lot of stuff that's going to have to happen, so it's going to be a call to action for everybody. I'm going now to 612. What is your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, this is Joy, and I'm calling from Minneapolis too.
Oh, well then.
Wow. So I've been listening to you for about 3 years now. This is my first call in.
Oh, wow.
I did email you several times to find out if we had a chapter in Minneapolis. So I'm very interested in whatever's happening in Minneapolis. It needs to happen. And I also just want to thank you for all of the service and all of the education and keeping stuff family friendly. You know, I can listen to you and hear what you're saying and not be cringing. So the main thing I wanted to know is what's the status of an ADOS in Minnesota, and you kind of spoke to that.
Well, let me.
Message, right?
Well, we will speak. I will speak to that. I don't think I haven't gotten your emails because I haven't responded. One of the things that has to happen is that because we're kind of in flux right now in terms of there are a lot of people who've been working on the ground that we're bringing in right now, right, to kind of push this movement forward and put people in place. So like. All of the stuff that you're asking, I haven't forgotten about you. that's basically what I want to say. I think people sometimes I haven't forgotten.
Well, it's just funny because I've been listening to you for 3 years and I never hear anyone call in from Minneapolis. And then I just started hearing this sister who's running for the Green Party, and I was wondering about Adolf, and she called in. And I actually found her up here, but we're still looking to see what's going on because I'm sure you know there are people who use the name Adolf, but then when you look at their agenda, they're not doing anything. You know, so we're so I wanted to get connected with whatever you're affiliated with. That's what I want to do so that there's not any confusion.
Okay.
So, but yeah, apparently Minneapolis is trying to get in the house.
Apparently.
We up here and they murdering our brothers like crazy. And
well, I think that has caused. I think that too has caused a lot of we gotta really get busy here, right? And so, trust we're gonna give you the tools to get busy there. We're gonna give you the tools to get busy there because we have the organizers and we have everything that we need to get busy there. It's coming, fam. I know people like I want to get in there. Right? It's coming. We got all the people on the ground that you need. It's coming. Just be patient with us.
Oh no, I'm cool. I'm patient. Like I said, I haven't called before, but it's just I just want to make sure that I'm just kind of wanting to check in and to reach out because I've been listening for 3 years. And just on a sidebar, I just want to just FYI. I don't know if you know this or not, but I was listening to some stories about George Floyd. Of course, we know about him being murdered by the police and everything. But something that I found interesting when you remember they had the memorial services in 3 places, right? They had one here in Minneapolis. Then they had one in his hometown, I think it was in North Carolina, where he was born.
Okay.
And then they had one in the town where he grew up in Texas. That was the final. But in North Carolina, his family inherited some land, and it was stolen from them.
I saw that. Yep.
See, and that's my history in Mississippi. My grandmother, her father was a slave. He was emancipated. They inherited land. He was educated, and the Klan they lynched him because he was literate. And they took the land, and because women couldn't own land, that's how they got the land, and that's how we ended up this way. So there's a lot, so when we're talking about reparations, I mean, land, even if somebody tried to do right and give people land, folks took it from them.
Yep.
And we still don't have it.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was just really interesting.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because we don't hear enough about, we hear about, Tulsa and all those mass things, but this is just a practice, and they did this in 1909.
Well, not just that, fam. We always hear about the end, this person did something, this person was on drugs. We don't never hear about the thing that brought them to that end. We don't never hear about the thing that made their life so unbearable that's what they needed. So you're right in terms of we just hear about one Tulsa. We don't hear about anything else. Land was stolen all over. But we also don't hear the entire story of a person's life that led them there. It's like, well, he was just doing X, Y, Z. And he was hanging out. You didn't hear the whole story of how this happened.
Right.
And that's the problem, too.
Right, yeah. They'll tell you about his criminal background, but they don't tell you they stole his land.
Exactly. You got to tell the whole story. You got to tell the whole story. I think the call.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, so what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
No. I was just saying you got to tell the whole story. That's it.
Oh, yeah, we have to tell. It's a big story to tell. So, thank you again. Thank you for all that you do. I'll let you move on to the next people. Just one last question, though. What time is the show tomorrow?
Tomorrow's 9:30.
So
9:30. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, tomorrow. Thank you, fam.
Thank you. No. Good night, and God bless you.
Thank you, fam. And I think thank you, fam. I appreciate it. And listen, if you all are somewhere, because we're going to kind of organize chapters by kind of congressional districts. If you are somewhere and there's not something organized where you are, please send me an email at editor@breakingbrown.com, and we will get the activists involved who are building, because I'm trying to put emails of people in different areas together and make sure I have enough to kind of form a chapter. So if you are somewhere and you're like, ain't nobody where I am, some people already send me emails. If you have sent me an email, I have not forgotten about you. I'm packaging you up with other people who want to build something in the same place. But send me an email at editor@breakingbrown.com, and also put your name in that chat, in the chat, your little chat name or whatever, if you want somebody to DM you, put your name in there so we can do that. I'm coming to 617. 617, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, it's Reggie. What's going on?
What's up, Reggie? How you doing?
Hey, I was chilling, but I was really sparked by, I think it was one of the first callers that called in, a diasporan brother.
Yeah.
Who was kind of calling with some concerns.
Absolutely.
And I was just thinking, just kind of as we move forward and pivot, I just want to kind of lay out there that I really don't want diasporans or anybody to worry, because the only reason that you would have to worry is if you're on the wrong side of this class warfare that's being waged within Black America. It really sparked because, I think I sent you the link. I was having a conversation with Dana, and what I was realizing, and just with other conversations that I've had, when we're talking about the fight for reparations, that it's not just class warfare, but as you've stated, we're a bottom caste. This is caste warfare.
Absolutely.
And so how ADOS engages, whether it's other Black people in the diaspora or anyone who's not ADOS for that matter, it depends on what side of that question that you're on. Because I think I sent it to your inbox. If you can pull it up, you'll see that West Africans, specifically Nigerians and Kenyans, and there was even a story I saw today that said that like about 60% of Nigerians are okay with Trump. Like
I saw that in the Guardian too.
After he says shithole countries, after he puts a travel ban on the country, they're like, okay, I'm kind of fine with this, because it seems to me like these are the elites talking, because it's linked to who owns the oil and the resources over there. And then you even see, and this goes back to the point I've said before about the bipartisan investment and ADOS failure, because when you look at Biden's plan for the diaspora, it has a specific focus on West African countries, specifically Nigerians. And what I was able to kind of see is that he wants the elites and the money to be able to move back and forth. Like, I don't care about the ADOS people over here. I don't care about the poor and working class in Nigeria that's being shot down by SARS. I'm going to keep this whole capitalism going. And I know I sound like a broken record, but, shout out to Tone Talks again for that whole LCSC framework, because it really helps you assess people. And even though, people like Van Jones, who, as far as I know, he's ADOS, he's a problem. For people like the lady on CBS when you were doing the interview with the I think that brother was Nigerian, but he was able to understand.
Yeah.
But the ADOS woman, she couldn't understand because she was running around private schools her whole life.
There
you
you
might
go.
as well throw her in with Emmanuel Acho and Serenthia Aribo, and just kind of to tie it in back to the whole 2020 thing. I'm going to put myself out on a limb. I think Trump might take this thing because I think we're underestimating the way that the country is leaning to the right and just kind of reacting, not because I think, they're reacting to ADOS in a little bit of ways, but overall they're reacting to just to black people and to just America in general, just pushing back against just this white hegemony, just with the uprisings going on, and then Trump signaling to white women in suburbia, like, I'm not going to let these people come in. These white women are going to react out of fear and just vote for Trump. And we're underestimating the way that he has his hooks in the minds of people saying, show up on election day. So I understand why you're being cautious, Yvette, because we don't know just how many of Trump supporters are going to flood the polls on election day because they say, I'm not voting in by mail and fake news and all these other conspiracy theories. So they're going to flood the polls. ADOS doesn't underestimate it, but I think America underestimates the investment that Hispanics and Latinos have in whiteness. I've been saying this forever. Like, the Hispanics, like, in a lot of ways, they are on the path to whiteness now in the same way that the Irish were.
They are.
I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up to a 40% for Trump from Latinos in certain districts. And even if Biden wins, there's going to be a backlash. But either way, whether it's Biden or Trump, ADOS is moving forward with the agenda. We're staying on our square. I'm very excited about, what you've announced on the shows about bringing this together. I'm excited about what I'm seeing online about people DMing you for chapters. I'm excited about the callers calling in. I'm excited when I see the chat. So it's like whether Trump or Biden wins, it doesn't matter because we are not invested in this two-party scam. Like, ADOS is here. We are agenda-driven, not party-driven. So I'm excited. When I show up tomorrow, it's going to be down ballot. I'm going to be putting pressure on our local politicians. And from what I hear from other ADOS people, we're all going to be doing the same. So
absolutely. Thank you,
that's all I got.
Appreciate it, Reggie. I appreciate you. We all going to be doing the same. That's key. See, and thank you, fam. I voted last week, but that's key. We all going to be doing the same. What do we say? ADOS first. We have a black agenda, but this is a debt. Our agenda, the overall agenda, that's important. Pay this debt first. You got to pay this debt, and then we have an agenda for everybody. We're going to keep doing the movement because the movement ain't going to stop. After we get our stuff, we also have to have policies, and then we have to do other stuff. There's a lot in this that nobody's even really talked about. We got to have discussion. I'm going to what's probably going to be my last call, but don't worry. Do not fret, because tomorrow we will absolutely have a show, and we're probably going to be here a while, depending on how quick they call the election. Or we could all be wrong, and Biden wins quick, and then we just off the air quick, but we're going to be here tomorrow regardless. 863-863, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? You there, 863? Well, I think 863 has dropped off the line. So so that is it, fam, for the show for tonight. I don't want to take you all too long, but do not forget that tomorrow at around 9:30 we will come in here, and if there are some kind, I doubt we'll have results at 9:30, but we will be here. I think that's what I said. Didn't I say 9:30, fam? I don't want to tell no tale. We will absolutely come here and have this conversation tomorrow. So tomorrow will be an earlier day because I don't have to bring up clips and so on. So please be here tomorrow, fam. Be here or be square. We don't know how long we be here, depending on how early they call things. We don't know what that's going to look like. So please bring a sandwich and some libations, okay? We don't know what that's going to look like. Like I said, it's a tradition now. I was on, when Trump got elected, I was here. And so it's a tradition now to just be here and discuss it and call it. And to bring in, did I say 9 or 9? So 9, okay, 9. Somebody said 9. So we'll be here at 9. Let me write that down. 9. Let me write that down. So, okay, we'll be here. Fam, we will be here. Somebody said 9:30. See, y'all don't confuse me. Now I got to go back and look at everything. 9:30 then, somebody said. Okay, anyway, fam, for those of you who didn't get in tonight, tomorrow try to call in, because like I said, we'll be taking calls as we look at the results. As they come in, we'll be taking calls, having a conversation about what the result. Yes, 9:30. Thank you, Blessed Be the Fight. People be trying to trick me. So we will have that conversation. It's going to be very interesting as we watch those results come in and analyze the results and talk about what they mean in terms of demographics for different states. So we're going to do that tomorrow, fam. But right now, everybody keep it easy, breezy. Finish your libation. Go to bed. Tomorrow is going to be a heck of a day, and we look forward to it. Do not forget, The Half Has Never Been Told on December the 10th is our book club book. Before you go, please hit that like button for me, and please subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications if you have not done it. Till tomorrow, fam, keep it easy breezy.
Hands